As a tutor, I'm often asked by parents how they can best support their child at home. And as a primary school teacher, my advice would always be to help your child fall in love with learning. That will set them up for life. Here's 7 ideas that I found are useful. Number 1, a child with a happy, quiet mind will learn a lot more easily than one who is worried about failure or worried about other things that are happening in their lives. So as much as we can calm the rest of their life down and minimize their concerns of making a mistake, then the easier they will find to learn. Think of their mind as a glass of water. All of their worries and thoughts are represented by the water, and the space at the top is what's left for learning. So the more we can have an empty glass to begin with, the more new knowledge a child can absorb. Number 2, children need a routine in order to reduce arguments to learning. You may well have experienced trying to encourage your child to complete their homework or to read, and there's something else they would rather be doing. But if you introduce the idea that, for example, every Saturday morning is homework, then they're more likely to just sit down and do it. Another idea is to attach extra bits of learning to existing activities. So, for example, ask 5 times table questions during breakfast. Practice spellings on the way to school. These little bits of micro-learning add up to be quite a lot. Number 3, be a role model. Our children learn for their very survival to mimic the adults around them. So if they see you as their parent or grandparent or carer reading, they'll read. If they see you actively trying to learn new things, they'll want to do the same. And if you show that it's absolutely okay to make mistakes, then they'll know it's okay as well. You may well have had a parent yourself who said, for example, I hate maths, I can't learn maths. Make sure you're not that parent. Instead, perhaps say, I'm still learning maths. I find it difficult and I'm still practicing. Children in the classroom often use talk for learning, and it's fantastic if you can emulate it at home. When a child can verbalise what they understand, it means they have a much deeper understanding, and it helps them to organise their thoughts. You might invite your child to be the teacher. Perhaps they can teach you what they've been doing at school, or a younger sibling. Adapt and change is very important when a child is learning something that they find difficult. Spend 5, 10 minutes or 30, depending on their age, on something difficult before moving to a learning activity that they enjoy and they find much easier. You can then return to the difficult activity a little bit later. Learning is best served when it's real and purposeful. So if a child is trying to practice their mental maths, have some small objects they can use, pieces of pasta, buttons, pebbles, shells. Give them real world problems. So, okay, we need to be at school at 8 a.m. It takes 15 minutes to walk. What time should we leave? Also, give them purposeful outcomes so they can see the benefits of their learning. So, for example, if you'd like them to practice writing, suggest that they write a postcard or a letter to a relative. Finally, make learning fun. If they learn nothing else in primary school, it's that learning is an enjoyable experience where mistakes are accepted and enjoyed. Here are some ideas of cheap ways you can practice learning at home through games. If you Google card and dice games for maths, hundreds come up. Wordle and puzzles such as word searches and crosswords work really well for developing vocabulary. And I've seen many children who cannot add and subtract monetary amounts and don't even recognise coins because as adults we pay with our cards these days. So if you can, get the tins of baked beans and the packets of pasta out of the cupboards, label them up with prices, or even better, let your child do that and play shops. It's one of the most fun things to do as a child. I hope you found this useful. Please give the video a like if you have, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also send monthly newsletters with lots of top tips and free resources, so you can subscribe to that at this address.